Sham. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rarit Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. In the recent times I have made a video on Saturn's retrograde transit in the sign of Pisces and predictions for all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. This is a follow-up to the same video because now Saturn is about to go retrograde on 13th of July and it is going to stay in this motion till mid of November. It is a powerful time from a karmic point of view. It calls for big shift, but this shift will require slightly more time because Saturn is moving at an extremely slow pace, and as it continues to go retrograde, the pace is going to be slower than usual. Saturn's anyway the slowest planet. This video is focused on what you should be doing as an ascendant sign or as a moon sign. At the physical level, you will read this from the ascendant sign. At the mental, emotional level, you will read this from the moon sign. I'm going to give you some do's and certain tips in terms of what you should be doing in order to maximize the retrograde energies of Saturn and ensure slow and steady success in your life, in your endeavors, in whatever you do. For Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon sign, so Saturn is your 10th lord and the 11th lord. It is the karma karak. It rules your karma bhava, your actions in the society, and also the 11th lord of gains, labh, your wider social network, your friends, also the enemies. Being the 10th and the 11th lord, it holds an important lordship, but it shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Mars. Saturn does not like Mars, and Mars always have a revenge for Saturn. This Shani is making a retrograde transit now in your 12th house of moksha, spirituality, liberation, isolation, foreign lands, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to donate and give and help others. This is a perfect time for you to reflect on your own isolation. All the 12th house matters, spiritual goals. If you've set some goals, you have not been able to be consistent with these goals, now you can make some slow yet steady progress. There will definitely be some foreign affairs and also some charitable acts that you should consciously engage yourself into. If you can probably make a work trip outside of your home country, it could be beneficial for you. Or if you could engage yourself in charitable acts, that could be absolutely good for you and beneficial for you. This charity could be with a sense of devotion because that is what the sign of Pisces denote. And you do not need to talk about this with the whole world. See, you would have been in a sense of burnout situation when it comes to work, your career, your profession. You may be overworked, you may be overwhelmed. Now is the time for you to heal from this burnout and also move from a state of overachievement, overcommitment. So you've been doing a lot of things which are particularly a state of overdoing. So you need to move away from that and time for you to heal yourself at the work level. You need to create a sense of balance in your work and professional life because Saturn's having a very strong drishti on your 6th house. You need to fix your daily routine and of course bring in a sense of cleansing in your own routine by healing yourself. The best tip that I could give you is to rest, recharge, retreat, go on a travel, try to release the karmic baggage that you've been carrying humbly and quietly. You do not need to talk about this to the whole world. You will have some very prominent, phenomenal spiritual experiences over the next few months, and that is something which you should be prepared with. From a remedial point of view, strengthen Jupiter, use mantras related to Jupiter, or use a Dwadashakshari Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he is the one who will guide you. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Quick tips, crisp analysis in terms of what you should be doing when Saturn's going retrograde from mid-July till mid of November, and this is happening in your 11th house. For you or your moon signs as well. At the emotional level, you must read this from your moon sign. Physical level manifestation, always look at the Lagna, the ascendant. Shani is going to go retrograde in the 11th house of Pisces. See, Shani is a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. It is your 9th lord and the 10th lord. It rules one Kendra house and it rules one trinal house in your case. So it holds a very important lordship. This Shani is in a beautiful yoga which we call Kevala Yoga, which is formed in the 11th house. It is a very powerful position for Shani. So you could expect long-term steady significant gains over the course of 2.5 years of transit. But when it goes retrograde, it is slowing down its motion. It is in an unusually much more slower pace than it would usually be. Shani has Manduk Gati. So it is time for you to reassess, re-evaluate your social groups, your friends. We also see long-term work-related goals from the 11th house, a sense of fulfillment. Illusion is also seen. So you will be in a state of illusion. Your guru is seen from the 9th house or the mentor, and his message, his or her teachings of mentors is seen from the 11th house. So you also need to re-evaluate, reassess those teachings. You have to let go of those unproductive networks of some toxic so-called friends or people, and you have to get rid of them. You also have to move away from rigidness in life, and having rigidness and bring in a sense of flexibility. You know, you have the palm tree. Palm tree has the capacity to bend with the wind. So you need to become like palm tree. Be a lot more flexible in your approach in anything that you do. You need to ensure that you work with other people and make sure that you command integrity, because ethics are going to be utmost important when Shani is going retrograde in the 11th house, because you will find shortcuts. You will lose out on patience because everything is going to take some time. So of course you need to build resilience, you need to build perseverance, and you also need to build your ambition. And if you can build your ambition at the soul level, this transit will bring enormous amount of success. See, remember that Shani does very well in the 11th house. It is one of the most finest transit that one can expect of Saturn. But this time period, you have to reassess a number of people in your life, goals in your life, your own situation, and stay away from illusion. Since it has a very strong aspect 7 Drishti on your 5th house, any mantras will be absolutely beneficial for you. You can use a Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, and he is the one who will guide you in the right direction. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. Shani Dev is now going Vakri or retrograde from mid of July till mid of November. Time for big shift. Saturn is going to go in an unusually much more slower pace than it usually has. Now, these are certain tips and very crisp analysis in terms of what you should be doing over the course of next few months. At the physical level, you must do things based on your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you should look at it from your moon sign. This retrograde Vakri transit of Shani is happening in your 10th house. I made a video on predictions. This is about tips what you should be doing. Shani is your 8th and the 9th lord. So it definitely holds an important lordship because it becomes your Bhagyesha, or the one who lords your fortune. It also becomes the Ashtamesh, the one that brings setbacks and how you can turn those setbacks into opportunities. Shani in your 10th house will definitely bring career or work related setbacks, but it will also help you turn these setbacks into opportunities. When it goes retrograde in your 10th house, in your Karam Bhav, this time period is absolutely important for you to revisit your career paths. Certain roles that you've done in the past or certain professional choices that you've made which is very much linked to your past, where some senior leaders or people with authority were involved. Even if your father was involved, if you are in a family business, you have to definitely revisit your past decisions and career choices and reflect whether you are moving in the right direction or not. Now, Shani is the significator of Seva because that is his domain. His domain is the 6th house, 8th house, and the 12th house. Seva, taking charge of adverse situations, and donations. So, these three things are of course very prominent energies are there in your 10th house. So at the karmic level, you have to do service, seva, deal with your own transformation and donate. Help those who you need if you were to involve your work related prospects. You also have to aim for higher truth. Reflect on your public role when it comes to services, or if you're trying to connect with other people. You have to let go of some emotional baggage at work. You have to let go of some people at work and avoid any politics kind of situation. Things momentarily will slow down. Certain projects might get delayed, but you have to hold on. You have to stick to the path of righteousness. And remember, the power of labor is making a transit in the Karam Bhava. Momentarily, it is slow. It is also aspecting your 4th house, very strong 7th aspect, which is indicative of increasing your mindfulness, your spiritual sadhana, and de-cleansing, decluttering that is required at home. Use the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya in order to improve your work-related context. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Saturn, the slowest planet of them all and the most beautiful planet and the coldest planet as well, is now going retrograde in the sign of Pisces on 13th of July until mid-November. It is going to stay in this motion. It is going to move at an extremely slow, steady pace. And this is happening in your 9th house of Bhagya, fortune. This video is aimed at giving you certain tips on what you should be doing to maximize this opportunity. Saturn for you is your 7th lord and the 8th lord. At the physical manifestation point of view, you will look at your Lagna, ascendant. Mental, emotional level connect, you will look at your moon. Being the 7th lord, it rules your Jaya Bhava. All those people who are opposite to you, your attitude towards the outer world of people, things and event. Being the 8th lord, it also rules adversities in your life, setbacks in your life, and how you can turn those setbacks into opportunities. Shani is making a transit in the trinal house. Shani's transit as trinal house is not considered very auspicious, and the only planet that you need to remedy through the entire transit is Mars. Look up to Mangal. See, the reason is because Mars is 6th position from the day lordship when it comes to Saturn, because we have Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Surya, Chandrama and Mangal or Mars. So look at Mars. One of the ideal remedies for you at this time could be to read Bhagavad Gita, because this is linked to Dharma, or read any scripture, any religious books or text that is there based on your belief system. It will strengthen, and this is a call to strengthen your belief system. Otherwise, you could deviate from the path of righteousness, and this is a reflection that you must do. Reflect on your belief system, on your mentors, your gurus, your teachers, on also academic matters, your higher education pursuit. Whether you're sticking to the right path or not, it is your time to think over the course of next few weeks. There could also be some legal matters, some litigation that could crop up, something from the past that could reappear, and be prepared to face these situations. There are very good karmic lessons to learn, and stay connected to your teachers, to your gurus, to your idols, to your mentors. Go on distant journeys. Take solo trips. Go on spiritual journeys. This is going to be very good for you from a remedial point of view. See, you need to ensure that you detach yourself from rigid ideologies. The ideologies that you do not link with. And you have to have a little bit flexible approach when it comes to ideological thinking. And towards the end of the day, you need to ensure that you develop some humble qualities and you walk the path of humbleness. Slow and steady will definitely win the race. Your 9-3 axis is pretty active. Shani is having a very strong aspect on the 3rd house. Any new beginnings, new ventures, there has to be slow and steady start. One step at a time. Things have been very much fast-paced. Now it is time for you to slow down, protect your belief system, and have a little bit flexibility in your ideology. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. Saturn is going retrograde from mid-July till mid of November. It is going to move at an unusually slower pace. It is already so slow. Now it is going even more slower, right? What else can we expect? This video is aimed at what you should be doing based on your ascendant sign or the moon sign at the physical or at the emotional level. I made a prediction video as well previously. You must watch it in order to connect the dots. Saturn is the ruler of the 6th house and the 7th house in your case. It is not the most favorable planet for you. It also shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna Lord Surya. Surya does not have so much of an enmity towards Saturn, but Saturn definitely has, because it does not consider Surya to be a good father. And it is going to go retrograde in the 8th house of transformation. This is also the house where Shani has the expert domain knowledge. 8th house represents illness, chronic diseases, debts as well, transformation, longevity. Saturn is the master of all these things. So it is his domain. So somewhere you're also getting protected by the transit of Saturn. But now it is time for you to have deep psychological healing, because 8th house represents depth. Shani also has a lot of depth, and this healing will be slow and steady. You have to work a lot on your mental health, and if you were to take some advice, some help, please do that. You have to reflect on your partnerships and joint finances, inheritance related matters, your inner fears, your weaknesses, issues with regards to intimacy when it comes to your partner, and all of these things you need to resolve at the mental level, most importantly, and let go of your fears so you can transform in a nice manner and transform quietly. You do not have to make a lot of noise about it. There is no shame in accepting your vulnerability, and this is the testing time for you. See, Saturn is going to slow down, of course, all those sudden things as well. So be wary of the fact and be thankful that you will not be expecting any sudden events or sudden things over the next few months. So that's not going to happen. What is going to be more prominent is your financial acumen, your commercial acumen. That needs discipline. Discipline in your eating, what you consume, because Shani is having a very strong drishti on your 2nd house. What you say, what you speak, and your connection with your family. Towards the end of the day, you need to earn and work for your family, and this is a very good message. Use an Ashtakshari mantra to strengthen this Shani, that is Om Namo Narayanaya. Look up to him and he will guide you. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. Shani Dev, Lord Saturn, Shri Sanishchara, is now going to go retrograde from mid of July till mid of November. Time for big shift, but slow shift, because Shani is going to be moving at an unusually extremely slow pace. It is already slow. Now it is going to go even more slower. Saturn is your 5th and the 6th lord. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the emotional level, from your moon. And I am only focusing on what you should be doing when Shani is retrograde. For predictions, you must watch the other video that I have made. This retrograde motion of Saturn is having in the 7th house. So firstly, Saturn is an important planet for you because it's your 5th lord of mantras, your future. Of course, it represents deeds from the past, but how it will manifest in your future. So Saturn is the planet that rules your future, and Shani gains directional strength in the 7th house. It is Digbali. Therefore, there are blessings of Devata. But when Saturn goes retrograde, it is time to reassess and reflect. 7th house is Jaya Bhava. It represents your partnerships, agreements, contracts, both marriage related romantic partnerships and business partnerships as well. So you have to reassess your current relationship, reassess your business or professional partnership, and try to make the necessary changes there. Be more disciplined and committed towards your relationship. This is a testing time, and hopefully you will sail through it, because Saturn is gaining additional Cheshtabal. Besides gaining directional strength, now it is having Cheshtabal. So for the next 6 months, it is going to be extremely powerful for you. it will also bring some karmic relationships, or past relationships will resurface, reappear, or you may want to visit your past relationship. See, you need to understand that you need to bring in a sense of consistency and discipline in anything that you do when it comes to relationship. Resolve matters. It is time for commitment and resolution and to move on with things. There could be unnecessary litigation, legal paperwork, so be prepared for it. Look for soul level partnership. Move away from transactional ties. It is not the time to get into a lot of transactions and commercial element, but more of soul level, deeper connection that involves certain depth. Shani is having a very strong drishti on your Lagna. It is time for you now to bring in a sense of discipline and consistency in your life. There is no scope for lethargy. If you be lethargic, you are weakening your Saturn. You are elevating all the negative qualities there. But if you bring in a sense of discipline, there is no looking back. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs, at the physical level, you will understand these tips from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you will understand this from your moon sign. Now what is happening is that Shani Dev, Lord Saturn, is going retrograde in your 6th house. Saturn is a Yoga Karaka, or the most favorable planet for you, because it rules one Kendra house, that is the 4th house, and one trinal house, that is your 5th house. So it becomes the 5th lord of your future and 4th lord of your comfort, safe and happy space of also your mother. 5th lord also indicates progress, positional success, king-like success, because this is the Rajya Bhava. It is going to go retrograde in the 6th house. 6th house is the domain of Shani, because Shani is linked to ill health. 6th house is about diseases. Shani is linked to debt. 6th house is about debt. Shani is linked to growth as well. And 6th house is the Upachaya Bhava. So it is master with regards to all matters of the 6th house. It is a very nice position for Shani. It does very well. It brings slow growth but brings promising growth. This retrograde transit, you have to revisit, come what may, your health related matters, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Some past health issues could resurface, so you have to be prepared for it. Make sure that you go for a routine health checkup and you adopt healthy habits. You can have a 180-degree shift in your lifestyle. This is the kind of energy which Shani's retrograde transit will give you. This is also the time for you to resolve your conflicts at work, in your job, because we see job from the 6th house as well. And as a kind human being, do seva, service towards the society, something that you could give back to the society over the next 5 to 6 months would be much appreciated, and you will receive Saturn's blessings. You have to watch your digestive system, and if there have been any issues, now you will heal from those issues. Now you will develop healthy routine. You will become more emotionally strong. You will come over, you will give up on old bad habits, and now you will adopt some good habits. You will serve with a sense of balance, with a sense of commitment, and the power of labor is going to be there. There are two things that are important. One is self-care and the other is your duty, your seva. You must remember that. Use a Shadakshari mantra, that is Om Vishnave Nama, or use a Shiva mantra, that is Om Namah Shivaya, and he is the one who will protect you and guide you in the right direction. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. Physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. Mental, emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. This video is very much focused towards what you should be doing as an ascendant sign or the moon sign. For predictions, refer to my previous video and then connect the dots. This video is about what you should be doing when Shani is going retrograde between mid-July till mid of November, and that is happening in your fifth house of your progress. This is the house of your future. We see mantras from this house. We see your children from this house. So it is an important transit. Saturn is the third and the fourth lord. It's more of a neutral planet and it holds an inimical relationship with your Lagna Lord Mars. The remedy for you throughout the transit of Saturn comes from Mars. You must look at reading either Bhagavad Gita or any of the ancient scripture, any books that give you karmic level knowledge in terms of your actions. What is that you should be doing? That is the best remedy that you can have over the next few months based on your belief system. You might have had some creative blocks in the past. Now you need to reflect on those creative blocks. Why did they appear and how you can become more creative? Use the power of labor in enhancing your creativity. So any creative projects or new beginnings that you will have will give you good results. There is a testing time when it comes to love and romanticism because Shani is a cold planet. So it will make you cold at the emotional level. You might have been feeling this kind of a experience. Now it is time for you to overcome this coldness. There could be coldness towards children as well. You have to reevaluate your parenting role too in case you have children and reassess that. Relationship with your friends and other people, again you need to reevaluate that as well. You have to again understand your passions that you held in the past and how you can reignite your passions and live those passions, reevaluate those decisions and express yourself at the soul level. Do not let your inner child die. You need to ensure that you continue to leverage your energy to keep the inner child going and living and alive and kicking. That is something which you should be the way of life. Mantras are definitely going to help with for you. Use a Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, and he is the one who will guide you in the right direction. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs, at the physical level you will read this, understand what you should be doing from your ascendant sign, at the mental emotional level from your moon sign. In this video, I'm going to give you very simple tips in terms of what you should be doing when Saturn goes retrograde. Saturn is having a retrograde motion in your fourth house. He is the second and the third lord, more of a neutral planet for you. He holds a friendly relationship with your Lagna Lord Jupiter, Brihaspati. Shani is making a transit in the fourth house of your comfort space, your happy space, your safe space, your mother, your homeland, the space where you feel most happy, most protected. So you need to understand the fact that Shani is going to go at an unusually much more slow pace. Saturn is anyway the slowest planet. So this is time for emotional level detox and try to rebuild your inner stability. So if you focus on your inner stability in the outer world, you will create comfortable situations for yourself. You will create stable situations for yourself. You have to have a spiritual practice because fourth house is the first stepping stone towards spirituality. It also represents your primary education. So you will reflect back in terms of your schooling related memories, your educational pursuits and your fundamental knowledge. It is time to revisit your fundamental skills and how you can continue to build. Clear any karmic debt or baggage that you have with your mother or at home or any assets that you own, perhaps a land or a real estate. It is time for you to make some important yet steady long-term decisions related to these matters. It is a very important time for you to ground yourself emotionally because you might sound to be cold to other people at your home, either your mother or with the outer public. And this is the kind of impression that you have to consciously change. Be approachable, make sure that you're a good listener and bring in a sense of stability at your home. If you were to strengthen Shani, you need to ensure that your home is neat, tidy and clean. Cleanliness is the key. If you ensure that it is cluttered, you are bringing in all the negative aspects and difficult situations with regards to Saturn. If you ensure it is clean, you're channelizing it more in a positive direction. It is also making a very good connection with your 10th house, a very strong aspect. You have to re-evaluate your work related decisions over the next few months and avoid any office politics. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. At the physical level, you will see this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you will see this from your moon sign. In this video, I am going to talk about what you should be doing and certain tips when Saturn goes retrograde for the next few months. And this is happening in the third house of your chart, which is the house of Parakram, valor, courage, change. Younger siblings or co-bonds are also seen from the third house. This is also the house of communication. This is also the house of your desire. Saturn, of course, is important because he is your Lagna Lord. He rules the first and the second house of your chart. Yourself, your family and finances. Also your food, what you consume. So therefore, whenever Saturn goes retrograde, regardless of what dasha you are running, you're going to have an impact. In my previous video, I covered predictions. This is about what you should be doing. You should be revisiting anything that is related to communications and your habits. Your habits are also seen from this house. Relationship with your siblings is also seen from this house. In case you have siblings, you need to revisit and mend any bad relationship that you've had or strengthen the ties. Saturn brings coldness. It could bring in a sense of coldness in your communication. Now you would like to go a little bit more at a slower pace. So it is good for you because this is how you will be more clear in your communication. Previously, you would have had difficulties with change. Now you will be more receptive towards change and bring in a sense of discipline here. See, any efforts that you put over the next 5 to 6 months, they're going to be slow efforts. It is going to take time, but you will definitely get the result of these efforts because Shani is your ascendant lord. And you will have wealth creating opportunities with regards to your effort. You need to rework, reevaluate your ideas, your context of life and also context of work. Make some travel plans, go on journeys, short journeys, spiritual journey. When Saturn is going retrograde, it could be a good time for you to start something new, but ensure that the pace is slow. Speak with clarity. Your actions should also come after a lot of clarity. You do not need to rush into things. This is a very clear and a precise message for you. There are new beginnings, there are new start. Shani is also aspecting the 9th house, very strong 7th aspect when Saturn goes retrograde. Protect your dharma, go on a spiritual journey, journal about yourself, your finances, your food and family. These are the things, if you write about it, it is going to strengthen your Saturn. Get some advice from someone senior, guru or your mentor or even an astrological advice that will always help channelize these energies in a positive way. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the mental emotional level, you will read this from your moon sign. In this video, I am focusing on what you should be doing when Saturn goes retrograde, which is the most important aspect. Previous video was about prediction. You must watch that and try to connect the dots. Saturn is your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. It rules yourself, your body, vitality, and also the Dwadashesh, your 12th Lord of losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness. Regardless of the dasha and the dasha that you're running, when Saturn goes retrograde, you will have the impact of this transit. And it is a sustainable transit in the long run. Shani is making a transit in your second house of Labh, of Dhan, your family, finances, your accumulation, your speech, your food. it is time for you to re-evaluate. So what you should be doing, you should re-evaluate your values, your family values, and your self-awareness. It is a very good time to do a SWOT analysis for yourself, understand your strengths and opportunity areas, and how you can continue to focus on your strength. Your speech might have developed certain coldness. Now it is time for you to re-evaluate and bring in a sense of humility in your speech. Be humble, kind, and respectful to others. This will bring financial stability in the long run. When Saturn goes retrograde, it is a good time for you to cut down on your expenditure because it's your 12th lord making a transit in the first house, and do some long-term financial planning. Resolve any karmic issues that you've had with your family, extended family members, other people. Let go of things. Make sure that you have the power of forgiveness, and that is the biggest asset that you could have. You will realize your self-worth, and there is no bigger blessing than having your self-worth, because that is the most important thing. If you have self-worth, you will build your self-esteem and you will be confident to deal with external matters. You will speak with a lot of integrity because Shani is going to increase integrity when it goes retrograde. You will save and not overspend, and this is something you must do at the karmic level. Make sure whatever work that you do it for your family. Use mantras. A simple Shani mantra, that is Om Sham, you can use in your daily prayers, and this will help you increase your spiritual practice. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. At the physical level, you will see this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you will see this from your moon sign. Saturn's going retrograde on 13th of July until mid-November. It will be in a retrograde motion. Extremely slow-paced Saturn. And this retrograde motion is happening in your first house. This video is focused towards what you should be doing, which is the most important aspect of this transit. It is happening in your Lagna, in your ascendant that governs yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity. Lagna is not the domain of Saturn because it goes Maran Karak in this position. Ascendant is about good health. Saturn represents ill health. So it does not have the domain knowledge. It is naturally a weak position. But what happens is when it goes retrograde, negative and negative becomes positive. So it is a brief few months window that you have when your 11th lord is making a positive transit in your ascendant. What you should be doing? You should be managing your finances and look at creating a secondary source of income or an increase in your income. Your expenditure is going to increase, but so will your income. You have to undergo deep self-reflection and build your maturity, because Saturn is a very mature planet. It is also cold planet. It will bring coldness in your temperament, but you have to ensure that you be mature with your actions with other people. It is definitely clearing major karmic cycles for you when it is making a transit in the ascendant. It is not going to happen for the next 30 years. There's a lot of restructuring that you need to do with regards to your identity, the boundaries that you have, and if you've created certain boundaries with people, make sure that you better stick to those boundaries. If you've developed some good habits, make sure that you stick to those good habits and you give up on all the bad habits and bad people in your life. Saturn wants you to stay grounded, stay humble, and the power of labor is in your ascendant. It is time for you now or never to build discipline, to bring in a sense of consistency in your life, to let go of the illusion, because Saturn is the 11th lord. It rules illusion for you, and understand your self-worth. Understand your self-worth, but in a slow and steady manner. Use prayers. This could be a very favorable time for your partner or spouse because Saturn has a very strong aspect on the 7th house. It is going to bring and strengthen your relationship and a very good transit where your spouse can benefit. So friends, this was an important and unique perspective on Saturn's retrograde transit in the sign of Pisces and what you should be doing. I hope and believe Saturn's transit increases our spiritual capability and helps us in terms of dealing with the day-to-day things in our life and be ready to help others, serve others, and transform yourself continuously. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.